Let's have a debate about Stranger Things Season 5 before it even comes out. What's going on, guys? I'm Chris, and welcome back to another video. So today I've got a Stranger Things Season 5 debate or discussion video where I want you guys to share your thoughts and what side you're on in the comments down below. And the topic of the video is, should Stranger Things Season 5 drop all at once or in volumes? I've talked about this in plenty of other videos, and there's a recent rumor that kind of sparked the idea, but I wanted to devote a whole video to this because it seems like any day now we could get the official announcement as for the release format of Season 5. Before I get into this, though, be sure to hit that like button, comment down below your hopes for how they're going to release Season 5. Are you team all at once or team in parts? Let me know down below. And of course, subscribe to that notification bell to help reach my goal of 150,000 subscribers here on the channel. So the age-old TV debate has been weekly release versus binge release or all at once. But when it comes to Netflix, they started with traditionally dropping their shows all at once, but they've kind of shifted into dropping them in parts. So it's kind of become a battle of, do you want all the episodes at once or do you want them to drop in parts? In fact, most major Netflix shows have started to release their shows in 2 parts. And this even applies to shows that started out originally by dropping all their episodes at once. Look at shows like Cobra Kai, You, Bridgerton, for example. Even Outer Banks. They all had seasons that dropped on Netflix where every episode was available to stream on day 1, but newer seasons have gone the route of splitting the season into 2 and releasing in 2 parts. Well, when it comes to Stranger Things Season 5, will Netflix go the volume route or will they drop all the episodes at the same time? According to some rumors, that's right, another day, another Stranger Things rumor, we could be seeing Season 5 drop in 2 parts that would hit Netflix in October and November. Again, these are rumors, they're not confirmed, so nothing's official here. Take everything with a grain of salt. Though we could get some actual confirmation on this sometime this week, as we are due for the annual Next on Netflix sizzle reel that they usually drop around the end of January or the beginning of February. That being said, I figured it would be fun to sit down and debate what is the better release method for Stranger Things Season 5. Dropping the episodes all at once or splitting the season into parts. So we're gonna pros and cons this thing. Let me know in the comments down below again which side you're on. But I say we just dive into this thing. Starting with releasing the episodes in parts or volumes, here's what I think the pros would be. So the single biggest pro that I think volumes would give us is that we would have the ability to savor this final season. Like, instead of sitting down over the course of a day and watching the rest of Stranger Things and that just being that, we would have a gap in the middle of the season to wait about another month to see the final episodes. So in a sense, this would give us one last mini off season to really talk about the final episodes, theorize and speculate even more than we already have. But instead of basing all of our, theories on rumors or set picks that we've seen from the Duffer Brothers, we'd actually be basing this off of the show itself, as we would have seen half the season up to that point. It reminds me a lot of what they did with Season 4, which at that time was the only Stranger Things season that released in volumes. The other 3 seasons dropped all the episodes at once. Season 4 was not only the biggest season in scale, but also by far the longest in runtime. And with Season 5 being the final season and the Duffer Brothers wanting to go even bigger in scale, likely, conquering the real answers behind the Upside Down and likely trying to eradicate Vecna, really going in on the lore of Stranger Things on a level we haven't yet. I believe that it would be a lot to take in, and so it would make sense if they wanted to split the season in half. Like, that month off for Season 4 was kind of nice. It served as a little bit of a breather to kind of take a step back, really process what we just watched, and then catch our breath for those final 2 episodes that were feature-length films, essentially. And in a sense, the month off, to me at least, felt earned, especially after Season 4, Episode 7's big reveal, The Massacre at Hawkins Lab. The, final 20 minutes of that episode revolve around us, the audience, discovering that Vecna is Henry Creel, who's also O1. It was this huge, mic drop, blow your mind moment, and we were able to sit with it for a month leading up to those final 2 episodes. It's also a reveal that recontextualized Stranger Things as we knew it, so you had the time to almost go back and rewatch the show if you wanted to through a new lens before seeing how Season 4 ended. So this leads me to my next point. If Season 5 is split into volumes like Season 4 was, there needs to be a logical break point. And I've made this point in a past video where I was discussing team binge versus team week to week, but too often Netflix original shows have had awkward breaking points in the middle of the season where we have to take off for another month to see how the season ends. And it often feels evident that they're just splitting it for business sake to have more subscribers for another month. But I'd like to imagine that with Stranger Things Season 5, there is a mid-season finale that can serve as the break point that feels appropriate for us as the audience to step back for about a month and then pick back up a month later. So what would the cons of splitting this season in half be? The most notable inevitable con to me would be you run the risk of killing all the momentum of this final season by splitting it in half. Too many times streaming shows over the past few years have taken a break, whether that be a month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months even, and it kills all the momentum of the season. Like, the season will return with the second part, and there just won't be a lot of talk there from fans. A lot of people, like the casual viewers of TV, won't even know that it's back. In fact, a lot of the times when a season splits in half, people who just casually watch shows on streamers will be like, well, I guess we have to wait a few years to see the next season, but they've just only watched part 1. They won't even know that part 2 or part 3 comes out. And I think a lot of that falls back on the marketing campaigns for seasons that are split in half. Oftentimes they go all in on marketing part 1, part 1, part 1. But then when parts 2 or say even part 3 rolls around, there's not as much marketing to generate discussion or even awareness of the show, because the streaming service can be so reliant on the audience understanding that, hey, this is just part 1 of 2 or part 1 of 3, but mark your calendar for when it comes back. But a lot of the times, unfortunately, if something's not put in front of people's faces 24/7, they won't know that it's coming out and won't be looking forward to it. So they'll see part 1 drops, and in their brains they'll be like, oh, this is it. This is just the whole season, when that's not that case, actually. For example, I adore Cobra Kai. I've done reactions to every episode on my channel, but undeniably, in my opinion, the gap between Season 6 Volume 1 and Season 6 Volume 2 probably killed a little bit of the discussion, and a lot of people might have fallen off with the show. It debuted with just 5 episodes in July of 2024, and we had to wait until November of 2024 to see 5 more episodes, with the final 5 not even out yet. They come out next month. I think it probably hurt the show in the long run. It hurts to say that, but that's probably just the case. Like, a lot of people will sit down when a show drops and they'll be prepared to binge the whole thing, a whole entire season. But then when they realize that it's not a full season, that it's just a part 1 or a volume 1, it can often frustrate them to the point of not even wanting to pick back up. And that's the case with movies and theaters as well. That's why a lot of times movies are dropping the part 1 nowadays, because they kind of want to trick audiences, because marketing something as part 1 and part 2 just doesn't sell as well, honestly. So if they go the route of dropping season 5 in 2 parts, they definitely run the risk of losing that momentum that's built up by the first few episodes. But imagine if season 5 were to drop all at once. Let's talk pros and cons there. The big pro here is that we can consume season 5 in one viewing. All at once, we don't have to wait a month or so to see how it ends. We get to see it all play out in one sitting. That is the way the show was originally released, with season 1 through season 3. The audience, you watching this video, I myself, we would get to choose how we want to consume this season. We could space it out, you could binge it all in one go, but you would have total control over how you watch season 5. Overall viewership of the show would also probably be higher here, because you wouldn't lose those people who would fall off with the show in the gap between volume 1 and volume 2. Everyone would be fully intending on watching the entirety of the season all at once to be a part of the conversation and to see how this epic show ends on Netflix. There is much less of a risk associated with dropping show all at once, in my opinion, especially if you've already built up the reputation like Stranger Things, like something like, say, Squid Game. You can drop it all at once because you know the viewership's gonna be there. You don't need to take a month off to try and build more hype or whatever, because it's already there. It's Stranger Things. It's a Game of Thrones level event with this final season. Now, what about the cons associated with dropping the season all at once? Well, the biggest for me personally would be you sit down over the course of one day, watch 8 episodes of Stranger Things, and boom, it's done. It's over forever. So 3+ years of waiting, and then we get here and we watch it over the course of a day, let's say, and then boom, it's done and gone forever. But at the same time, it wouldn't be as drawn out as if we had to wait to watch, say, 4 episodes, take a month off, then watch 4 episodes. I'm kind of impatient, so I want to see how this thing ends, and doing that all in one sitting is kind of a pro in my mind. Also, if we're kind of debating here, look at movies, right? Stranger Things is kind of a movie level event. In my mind, it's maybe even bigger than a movie. So if we're looking at movies, oftentimes for sequels nowadays, we do have to wait anywhere from 2 to 3 to 4, 5 years to see that, and then we finally wait that amount of time, and then boom, we sit down for 2.5 hours, 3 hours tops, and that experience is over and we wait for the next one. Well, at least here with Stranger Things, yeah, we had to wait all these years, but we are getting maybe 8 to 10 hours of media out of it, so it's worth the wait. But another con associated with dropping all the eps at once is that the conversation might not last as long. A lot of shows, smaller shows, kind of find an audience through week-to-week releasing, and people can hop on board each week as a new episode releases. Well, Stranger Things isn't worried about that. They've already built up this huge brand to be the biggest Netflix show, but with it dropping all at once, let's say on one random day, on a Friday or Thursday or whatever, after that weekend, a lot of people will watch it and talk about it, but will the conversation still be there? Who's to say? I think that kind of opens the door to another conversation about week-to-week release, which I'm not getting into because this is a Netflix show, but still, with week-to-week releases traditionally, you got the week-to-week build up to a new episode, and at least with, you know, the volumes, you could watch half the season and then have like a month's worth of essentially the week-to-week release discussions just over the course of a month, building up to 4 episodes. And you won't have any of that with dropping this season all at once. And another thing is, if all the episodes were to drop at once, there is no opportunity for people to get on board during the month off that would be provided by dropping the show in volumes. Because during that month off, if they went the volumes route, a lot of people might pick up Stranger Things because they hear, oh, Stranger Things final season's out? When does it end? I gotta catch up by then. A lot of people like to wait for shows to watch the final episodes live by binging to catch up, and so that opportunity is kind of gone, and word of mouth isn't there to build up to the last half of Stranger Things 5 if the episodes drop all at once. Now, there are tons of other pros and cons out there for dropping the eps all at once or dropping the eps in volumes. Let me know down below what pros and cons you think that I didn't even touch on in this video for both of those methods of release. But at the end of the day, I just want to know when we're getting Stranger Things 5, because we know it's coming out in 2025. That's confirmed, but we don't know the actual dates. I want a date that I can put on my calendar so I can count the days as we get closer and closer to season 5. Each day that passes technically is a day closer, but I want to know concretely, this is the day. And I can't wait, and I hope it's November 6th, Stranger Things Day. It is a golden opportunity, whether they go the volume route, whether they drop all the episodes at once, drop it on Stranger Things Day. If you go all 8 eps, do it on November 6th, which is Stranger Things Day. If you go the volume route, drop the first volume before November 6th at some point, and then the final volume on Stranger Things Day. I think if they don't do that, it would be foolish. I put out a video recently that I'll link up above where I talked about a rumored release date of November 27th, which is actually Thanksgiving here in the US. Not a fan of that. I think it's a missed opportunity to not drop it on November 6th. But truth be told, when it comes to release model for Stranger Things Season 5, I'm gonna cast my vote for dropping all the episodes at once. This is the way the show began. It did that for the first 3 seasons. I say let's go back to the roots of the show with the release format, and that's the way Netflix got its start, dropping all the episodes at once. You can binge it all at once, you can space it out, you have total control over how you watch Season 5, but my gut feeling is that they will end up splitting the season in half, like they did with Season 4. It's almost like it's too big of a show for them to not capitalize on the business opportunity of splitting it in half and having more subscriptions, because at the end of the day, money talks, money wins, and that's probably what they're going to end up doing. Splitting Season 4 in half was a huge win for Netflix, so for them to do it with Season 5, I wouldn't be shocked. But whatever they do, I'll be there day one. If it's in volumes, hell yeah. If it's all at once, awesome. I'm just ready to sit down and watch Season 5. But that's going to do it for this little debate video. Let me know what you thought of it. I might do more of these with theories, who's to say. But hit that like button, comment down below which method of release you prefer for Season 5. Dropping all the eps at once, or dropping them in volumes, and of course subscribe and hit that notification bell to help reach my goal of 150,000 subscribers here on the channel. It would mean a lot. But thank you guys as always for watching, and until next time, I'll see you on the other side of the Upside Down.